Okay, great. So this is a little different. We're doing a little fireside chat, and this is also very special to me because I haven't seen George in a while since he went on his crazy journey. But George, tell me a little bit about how did you and I first get to meet each other?
I think so. I was in Berkeley, I think senior year, and then I was involving with entrepreneur club. It's called ACES, the Asian Pacific Student Entrepreneur Society. So and then we invite many high-profile speakers and then many mentors, and then I think we invited Francis there to share with his journey. So I met him there many years ago.
Fantastic. Now, when you were a student back there, did you know what you want to do, or were you still exploring what your options were?
Definitely exploring. Like, as we are students, we never know what we want to do. But that's why we involve many clubs, many organizations to find out what's our passion and what we can do, for the future.
Awesome. And I believe now, somewhere through all your journeys, you now are involved with work in Africa, in China, here in Silicon Valley. That's a lot for just under a decade, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So, do we have some slides here, I think? Okay. So, now, you're also not just going and working in Africa. It looks like here that, did you actually start schools in Africa?
Yeah, so actually our church started in Africa in 2003.
Huh.
And then so we have 75 churches there. And then we started a group called ACT. It's called the African Career Training Center. So we want to equip the Africans, on coding, on solar, on video, on all the things that we take for granted here. But for them, it's a huge learning, so we can help them. I think our goal is to help them sustain on their own, so they can grow, in Africa too.
So why Africa? So you have, I understand your roots to China, and obviously Silicon Valley, but why is Africa now such a strong interest for you, for SBIF, but also out here for the U.S. government as well too? Yeah,
so I think, as we all know, Asia, our growth is kind of like steady, and then Europe is kind of declining, and then U.S. is kind of like growing because of the immigration, right? But Africa actually is the most growing, in the whole world actually. So every woman has 4.3 kids actually there, 4.7 kids there, and then so Africa is the fast growing, continent in the whole world, and then we can see, a lot of the young people there, they want to learn, and also as a lot of us know, China is going to Africa. China actually building $100 billion of port in Tanzania. Actually, that's first when I met with the president of Tanzania. That's how I got started interested in Africa. And then that time we were helping them to build solar. Yeah, so that's that's the former president of Tanzania. And then and also we started clean technology, solar, and then also now a lot of the career centers there. And then also the other thing is, as everybody know, China has this one belt, one road, right? So you want to go expand to Africa too. So definitely everybody's looking at Africa to see what we can do to help them there. And then I think actually the funny thing is, I think after President Xi went to China, and then the U.S. want to catch up. So Obama actually went to Africa to see if they can help do some kind of like Africa fund to build all this clean tech. And then so when the Africa president come here to visit, he actually come visit us first, and then in Vallejo, and then he actually went to Washington to meet Obama in 2014. Yeah.
So China invested $100 billion in Africa's development.
Yeah. Actually, the other thing is, I don't know if you know, so I went to Africa in 2016 in Togo. So every African country, if you go, the White House there, the president's suite there, the president's building there, also all the stadiums, all the airports are built by China. China built all this thing for Africa, and then kind of like as a gift for them, so they can do more business together. Yeah.
Okay, so they're helping them build infrastructure, right? And this is to hope to foster a better trade partnership. So here's the question. So the United States right now is still seen as a very strong R&D, idea-centric, and where a lot of the innovation comes from, right? China seems to be very strong in manufacturing, factories, product development. India has taken the lead in software. A lot of the coding, like even outsourced here. What do you think Africa's little niche in this global village will be then in the next 10, 15, 50 years?
Right. So I think, as we all know, India is kind of like doing all the softwares, right? And then, but Africa also trying to do more software because as their economy grows, right, they can actually have their own internal people supporting, all the software growth. And also, as China selling more products, manufacturing all the device, selling to Africa, also Africans is also trying to learn more on these areas. And also they might leapfrog, like as we all know, in China, in the US, you have all the telephones, right? All those wired telephones. But in China, basically everything is wireless now, right? So they basically leapfrog all these infrastructures. And I think in Africa, right now they can also. When I was in Ghana, actually, when you take taxi, you can actually pay with your phone. They actually can pay everything through phone because to them, carrying cash around, you might get robbed, right? And also all that. So I think even in China now, everybody has WeChat and everybody has Alipay, right? So they all use that, and also they will be also using that in Africa. So I think Africa, they are trying to catch up everything, and then they definitely need help from China and also US, but their people we can empower their people because our goal is really to impact the generation. So we can actually empower all the Africans to learn coding, so they can hire within themselves, inspire them, so they can have their own product because they know what kind of problem they have the most, and then they can actually to create their own product, so they can actually start their own company and then to grow, right? And then so a lot of the fundings can come from whether it's the U.S. or in Asia, and then so can help inspire them. And then as us from Silicon Valley, right? I think we are here, we're the innovation hubs, right? So we can actually help a lot of them to if we all take some time off to go to Africa, you can actually teach them something, and actually you can learn something from them too. I see they are like very diligent, working and also working on different things, so you can really help them. A lot of time, we are here in Silicon Valley, we thought, we are just a normal person, we are not like Mark Zuckerberg, we are not like Larry Page and also all that, right? But a lot of stuff we learn in school, and then also we learn at all these kind of events, right? We can actually carry all the skills that we have and actually bring this to Africa, to help, right?
Okay, fantastic. So, what do you think is your vision, your role you want to play in this development between China, Africa, and United States? What would be the ideal role? Where do you think is the sweet spot to be?
Yeah. So I think I start. So in 2011, I started this SVIEF with my business partner Iris Lei, and then so we definitely see there are more and more U.S.-China kind of like and also U.S.-Asia kind of like opportunities, between U.S. and Asia. And then so we kind of think, hey, we want to make our own platform, a platform where U.S. company can also go into China, and also Chinese company can come here. Whether it's big business or startup companies, we kind of want to help U.S.-China kind of like the relationships. And then so since then, so this is our 8th year. So every year we have big conferences here, and also in China. Now we have 4 or 5 conferences in China. In Chengdu, Shenzhen, Beijing, also Xi'an, and also Dalian, many places. And then we want to foster this relationship. And then also definitely, one big thing also in China also is they want to do this one belt, one road. So definitely, we can actually see, a lot of the needs actually also not just in China but also in Africa. We see there's big collaboration with these 3 countries because Africa has the most population growth, right? And then and kind of like China also have a lot of population. US has a lot of the technology, all that. So we do see there's the kind of like a triangular link that these 3 places they can share. We're talking about how to share the power and everybody empower everybody. So we see different places has different whether it's technology or innovation or different things that we can all work together to make the world a better place.
Great. Seems like we've got some little technical difficulty here, but can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, cool.
Maybe the battery.
Is your battery? That's okay. We're gonna project your voice. Yeah. All right.
My battery back?
Good again. We're gonna have you project. Is that good?
It's dying battery.
I think it's a dying battery.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you, Venus. Awesome. Okay, so do you see more cooperation and more competition between the United States and China now with this emerging market?
Yeah, I see definitely a lot of cooperation.
Okay.
Right, so China is trying to do more electric vehicle. So for the U.S., also many companies want to get into like Tesla, get into go into China. So also all the electric vehicle is the market is big, and also it will be benefit environmental, also all that. And also I think also China was learning a lot from the U.S. right with all the technology. They're trying to make Tencent, all those companies, trying to make all this. Kind of like we call like the copycat of the U.S. company. But actually now, if you look at it, actually Facebook actually is whatever they see Tencent's doing. Now they are doing a lot of those too. So right now we see U.S. actually a lot of the companies because with Alibaba and Tencent, they are doing a lot of the AI. They have a lot of data on all the stuff that we have on the internet. They can do more machine learning and all of those, and then we actually see U.S. actually also try to see because what they have done in China also. So we definitely see there are a lot of the competition, cooperation, like in different ways.
Okay, great. Now you talked about electric cars and clean energy. I think we have some slides of you working in Africa with clean and solar energy, right?
Right.
So you actually,
yeah.
Okay, here you are.
Yeah. So actually, one of our goals is really to help a lot of the remote villages. So we want to help them put on solar. So this is one of the remote village out of in Togo. So Togo is a French-speaking country. And then they are right next to Ghana, so they are on at West Africa. So our goal is really to help them, put solar, so they have lights at night. So this is actually their first time. All these kids, they are so happy because it's their first time seeing a light, like at night. So actually, when we saw this, actually another story was actually we actually teach them how to install solar, and then that day when we teach them, we actually we lost one part. So we actually didn't see this while we were there. So we actually told them, hey, just go to the hardware store here there and buy that one part. Once you put it there and then, you can install it, then it should be all good. But we don't know whether they actually learned it or not, right? So actually that was a test for them, right? And then so it turned out they were able to put that there and also have all the lighting work. So we were actually on the flight when they actually sent us this picture. They say, hey, we got it done. We're like, yeah, you actually finally learned because, we want to teach them how to fish, right? Don't just want to keep feeding them the fish, right? So our goal is really to see more and more remote villages like this can actually have more lighting. And then actually the other story about this is we were thinking about they want lighting, right? But the other thing was I want to achieve at this remote village. Actually, this village has about 1,000 people, right? And then the first thing they asked us, hey, can we charge cell phones? And then so actually. The chief actually they have a cell phone, not smartphone, but just a regular cell phone. They actually use that for emergencies. So like they charge their cell phone probably like once a month or something. But they don't have a battery. They have nothing, right? They have no electricity. So they actually have to walk like 20 miles, to the next village.
Jeez.
And then wait, and pay and actually wait for many hours to get charged and walk back another 20 hours, right? So when we told them, hey, our battery pack actually has those USB port, so they can charge it. So they were actually more happier. They can charge cell phone and they have light, and then right. And then so, but of course we see a lot of the now African they do more business through mobile, right? So now they can do payments through mobile and also that. So definitely that's one thing we learned actually in Africa. So they actually can actually have all these different things there. Yeah.
What do you think is the biggest challenge what is the biggest challenge you think for Africa to overcome as it progresses into the 21st, 22nd century of technology and the standard of living?
Yeah, so I think a lot of them still lack all the basic education. Like we take granted all our elementary schools, middle school, high school, and also all that. So we actually they need to learn more on math and science and all those things because to them just having food is already they're already happy having food, right? But the next step will be learning more education and learning more basic skills. Like I remember one thing very clearly when we were there. My wife was teaching them how to do kind of like we say, hey, if you have money, you can put this money into banks, right? Can give you interest. And she kind of like say, if you got 5% interest, you have $100, how much you will get the next year, right? And nobody actually can answer. We thought they are kind of like shy, right? And then so finally one person raised their hand and they say, oh, like 130. And we're like, like they can we thought like they can even do basic math. So I think definitely there are a lot of learning there. And then but I think one good thing is when you do coding, you don't need to learn all the other basic stuff. And then so we can actually and also a lot of the solar installation video, also all that. So those skills can be gained without basic kind of math. But again, we have another startup that we should bring to Africa. It's called Edify. So this Edify is a Stanford. I don't think we have a picture on that. Yeah. So basically, Edify is a Stanford. They have this black box called SMILE. It stands for like a Stanford Mobile Inquiry System and Learning Environment. So basically, we were able to actually put because in Africa having internet is a luxury. Yeah. So we actually put all the information you want to learn in this black box. It's called a SMILE, and then all the kids can actually use their kind of like those phones or laptop. Tablet. And then and also iPad, also that to learn all of those. So they can connect to the black box. So we are working with different schools, and then so they can learn all the different things on that. So that's one thing we are helping Africa on education. It's an important part, in Africa.
And you also don't work just in Africa. You also work here at Camp Bismarck International Youth Conference. Tell us a little bit about what you do here locally as well too.
Yeah. So Camp Bismarck is CNN ranked Camp Bismarck as #1 teenager kind of like entrepreneur camps. So they actually have this entrepreneur camps I think 3 or 4 times per year. I think one of the pageant actually she also went to one of the camps. So basically the camp is a 1 week, and then they actually help you teach you entrepreneurship. So a lot of the young people they can learn entrepreneurship. So they are also right now expanding to Asia and also Africa and also many places. So they actually help kids to learn marketing, finance, how to be CEO. Like usually they group you into a team of 6, and then one person will be CEO, one person will be CFO, one person will be marketing, and then it's really fun to see, young kid to kind of like, presenting pitch for their company things, and then, we were thinking like, what were we doing when we were here, right? And then so it's really interesting to see how they can. So actually I judge at all those conferences, Camp Bismarck every year. And then definitely our international youth conference is in Africa, so we do that every year. And then we bring African kids, from all of the continent. Usually we have 500 to 600 kids there. And I mean, they're not kids; they're like probably in their 20s. And then so they learn a lot. They always like to learn from the U.S. And then so we teach them on business, we teach them on cash flow management, we teach them on culture, education, and different things. So that's what we do to help them.
Well, we're starting to run out of time, but I have to say that from the time in the years as a senior to today, I am absolutely impressed. Thank you for being such an amazing example of what a human being can be in just a short amount of time. Thank you for also hosting us. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.